A piece of toilet paper. And there's the end. Hi, I'm Handy Jeff, and guess what? I might have accidentally started a business for 1,500 bucks. Let's talk about sewer drain cleaning while I show you how to clean out a sewer drain at one of my rental properties. So guys, Chinese companies have really been stepping their game up. So what I have here are two Vevor products. This is a pipe inspection camera. It goes out 150 feet. And then this is a sewer machine with a 3/4 inch cable. It's the big boy. And it has 100-foot cable. So with this setup right here, the only thing you're missing to be a full-fledged drain cleaning service would be a locator. Now, what's crazy is this sewer machine alone, like, to get a comparable rigid product, you're looking at 3,500 bucks. I bought both of these combined, and here's a screenshot, for just a hair over 1,500 bucks. Now, how do they work? Well, let's find out. We're gonna take this toilet off and then run a camera down it just to see what we're up against. I know there's tree roots. If you saw a previous video of mine, you would know there's tree roots as well. And then we're gonna run this machine down, see if we can take those tree roots out. And then once we do, we'll run a camera down just to check to see how clear the sewer is. Now, a couple extra things. I say for 1,500 bucks, you could start your own business. Well, you're gonna have some consumables. So I've got two different pairs of gloves here, some microfiber towels, and then a really high grade extension cord, which you would need. But once you have these are going to be consumable no matter what. Hopefully you're not running through too many extension cords. But the main hardware is going to be your sewer machine and your inspection camera. And the fact that you can get these for $1,500, whereas if you were going to buy comparable rigid products, you're looking at close to $10,000, probably like $8,000 or so. And let's just find out if it works as good as it should. So I'm not gonna make you guys watch me remove this toilet, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this bad boy because there's no other clean outs that we can go in with this size cable down in the basement. First she's here, and now she's gone. So let's get to the first step in this. What we are going to do is we are going to use this drain camera over here, run it down just to see what we're up against. So in case you didn't know what it looks like, this is what a toilet sits on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and turn on our camera, get it set up. This camera is battery powered, so as you can see, it's looking at me now. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn the lights on as bright as they will get. That just will give us a better view once we get down into the pipe. Then we are going to pull this bad boy out, and I'm gonna readjust, and basically all we're gonna do is just go straight down into this hole. So you can see how it works. Now I'll give you a view of what we're seeing on the screen. All right, y'all. In case you wanted to know what the inside of a sewer looks like, and you didn't see my other video, here we go. There's the outside. Now we're going down in. Another reason why I am doing this camera first is so that I can see just how far down in we're gonna have to go. Because as you can see here, it tells you how far out you are. Now we're gonna have a little bit of a hiccup there. There, we push past it. Just like that. This should give us a pretty straight shot. I apologize, I'm having a little technical difficulty here getting through this pipe. So we're gonna try to ram it. Which I have no idea what I'm getting hooked up on here. Because in theory, this should just skip right over the top of that. All right, as with anything, there's always trial and error. So we're back in, gonna try to see how far down in we can get. There's a little ledge right there. Getting past that has been difficult. It appears that this is a really bad joint. Let's see if we can get past it. Well, we may have to go in through the clean out I have downstairs as far as to view, and we might end up having to use the sewer machine up through here. That'll make for this to be interesting. So let me go get the sewer machine, see if I can jam it down in here a little bit. So as you can see, I ran into a little bit of an issue. But what I'm gonna do here is I am going to take this cable and try to jam it in as far as I can, and then I'll use the camera to end up seeing just how far away or how far in we can get using this cable. This might not be the best. We're going to change what bit we have in our sewer machine here. Now, although this bit is great for clearing out tree roots on the outside of a house, trying to get it to snake through the plumbing of this house, probably going to be impossible. So I'm going to use this little guy to try to clean out the tree roots that are in the system. So this is a relatively easy process. All you got to do, remove an Allen key, take your new cleaner, stick it in there, and put that Allen key screw back in. Then we're just going to go ahead and tighten using our Allen key. All right, here we go. Let's see how far we can get it. What we're going to do is we're going to try to use the power of the actual sewer machine to push out. So normally you would operate this with your foot, but because I'm trying to get past a very delicate piece, I'm just going to operate it with my hand. What we don't want is the cable to bind up on itself. That would be bad news bears. Well, it feels like it got past that clog, so I'm going to loosen tension. I'm going to put the machine back in neutral. And now, see, we can push it out farther. And if you guys want a video on exactly how this thing operates, I'd love to give it to you. Just leave a comment down below and I'll try to get that video, a nice video review out to you. Seems like we've hit another snag. Let's see if our machine can get through it. Look at that. Like it's nothing. All right, so I am assuming that since I have gotten way out past where I need to be, or past that hump that we were struggling with. I've got a feeling that we're almost out into the clay tile that makes up this sewer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that camera downstairs and we're going to run it out just to see if we could see where the end of this cable is. So let's do that. All right, I've got my camera set up, so we're just going to go ahead and push her down in there. What I'm going to do is have you guys looking at the screen so you can see what I see. Now, why did I call this a business to start out? Well, a sewer cleaning business is different than being a plumber. You don't need, at least in my jurisdiction, need licensure to be a sewer cleaner. Now, something that's interesting is that, you know, these tools cost $1,500, and to have somebody come out and just scope a sewer like this for a home inspection is $170. To actually clean out, that must have been where we were getting stuck before. So, and then to actually clean out the sewer itself, you're looking at close to $220 in my area. That means you don't have very many clients before you're completely paid off. All right, so we are out. You can see the sewer and drain cleaning cable right there. So let's get around this corner here. And it is very important to note you do not want to run your sewer cleaner while you have a camera in here. That is an easy $750 mistake, because then you're paying for a brand new camera. Well, it looks like, if I can find it here, get out of this belly that's holding water. There's our sewer cable right next to us. And it appears like we are stuck right here, but we can push through that. Once we push through that though, you've got gunk all in here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now if we keep going, you can see there's tree roots right there. Yikes. And that's what we're gonna attempt to clean out of all this. So what we're gonna do, let's get this off the end of the camera hopefully. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come through here, we're gonna run our sewer machine all the way through here. If I can get over the hump. This must be where I got stuck before. It's about 30 some feet out. So, full disclosure, I have scoped this sewer already. I just wasn't able to get past this point because of the tree roots. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this camera back and then we're gonna run our sewer machine, see if we can clean out some of these tree roots. As you can tell, there were definitely some right back in this area. Then, let me push this cable back in. As you can tell, there are multiple different intrusions of tree roots. That's what this is right here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this bad boy out. We're going to go back upstairs and get to working with that sewer machine. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to apply some tension. Make sure we are in forward. And then I'm just going to run this very slowly. And if we bind up, I have other gloves to put on because we don't want to tear our base layer of gloves because we're dealing with sewer stuff, which granted, I know this house has been vacant for a long time, but let's just go ahead, see if our machine will push its way out, and I plan on running almost the entire 100 feet, so that's cool. So what I'm listening for while this is running is binding. If this binds at all, I will stop the machine and then reverse it. And if that doesn't work, I can run the actual motor in reverse. So you hear that? That was the sound of the sewer machine kind of binding. So So we're going to continue on, see what happens. Now you can really tell that the machine's not binding with anything when you let go of your foot pedal and it continues to spin. As long as that's happening, we've got happy campers. So honestly, this is kind of a long and boring process. I'll sit here and talk about, you know, while this is running, you definitely should expect to make a little bit of money if you buy this. Because even though I'm buying this personally for my own rentals, I know a lot of people already that are like, oh, I'll just call you next time my drain gets clogged. But your number one job when you're running one of these is to make sure you don't damage anything and you don't bind itself on itself. If that happens, you're going to be in deep doo-doo, and no pun intended. We definitely want to be careful running one of these because you can really screw something up and then you have to dig a hole in your front yard. But before I continue, if you are interested in either one of these machines, I'll leave a link to the VEVOR website. It is an affiliate link, and what's awesome about that is it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it will give me a little bit of a commission and support the channel, which helps when you're buying expensive tools and making videos like this for you guys. What I'm doing there is just checking to make sure that it'll pull back on its own. So this cable will go out 100 feet. I'm gonna run almost the entire 100 out of it because I know that that'll get me to the sewer main. And at that point, it should definitely be clear to the sewer main. And honestly, I was expecting a little bit more resistance in this, and it seems to be running too easy. All right, well, I've been running this for a while. Let's check and see just how much cable we have left. So for that, you're coming a little closer. All right, so we can see that there is some cable down in here still, and I'm just gonna continue to go ahead and run this. So I'm just gonna check, make sure I can pull it back a little bit, and I can. So we're gonna continue on. All right, we're kind of binding on something out there. Let's see what happens if we run it out a little bit longer. And you can tell because it's not spinning. There we go, push straight through it. I guess this is a good time to talk about the different parts of the actual sewer machine. This is your tensionizer knob. This is your control. Toward me is forward, away from me is reverse. You can see it is marked here. And we're just pushing out and having no trouble at all, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want to see when you're running one of these things. You want it to run very smoothly. You want it to use its power for good and not for evil. So we're out here pushing down the sewer, it looks like. And honestly, guys, this is about it. We're just gonna run it out, run it back, and then we'll check it out using the camera to see if we got everything cleared out. All right, for the sake of making this video interesting, I'm gonna go down and run my camera out, although I think that this is doing a great job. We just want to see how far we've gotten. All right, so once again, we're gonna go ahead and turn our light on as bright as it'll go. Run it back down into the sewer until we find that cable. Look, there's our cable right there. Now let's go ahead and follow that cable along just to see what we run into. As you can see, we're following that cable. It is a little hard to tell what we're looking at. We've really stirred up quite a bit of gunk. It's at the bottom, it appears, which that's good. That's why we're doing this. We want to clean this bad boy out as good as we can. I've got a feeling what we just viewed there might have been the cable, the end of the cable. Nope, looks like we're still on the cable. We're following it out. And as you can see, we are underwater part of this way, and part of that might be because the cable's in here. The other part is because this sewer did have some bellies to start out with when I cambered it the first time. All right, another huge root ball we just cleared, you see? And also we did just run a bunch of water down it. All right, I'm not sure what, we are still underwater, it looks like, right there. We are now out farther than I have been in this sewer, which is great. I would like to get pushed up to where I could see what we got going on. But, you know, par for the course, we do have some gunk that we need to work out. All right. So it's clear right here that we are not as far out as we need to be yet with, oh look, would you look at that? There's our cable. Right at the end there. Isn't that awesome? All right, so I'm going to continue down this way, see what we're up against. Look at that, we've got some more roots. Generally, you're going to be a little bit more gentle, but I've virtually seen this. If you watch my other video, I cambered as far as I could possibly get this camera to go. Which it appears, this right here is where that major issue was. Yeah, and I can't get past it again. Well, the good news is we do have flow, as you can see. Bad news is we're still not there with the sewer machine. I'm really trying to work my way in there, but it's just not having it. Well, that means we've got to continue to run our sewer machine. So I'm going to bring this back in. As you can see, we are out 60 feet and we are not yet in the main. So that means we're going to need to run more of our cable out on our sewer machine. And I am wiping this camera off as I pull it back in. But I'm going to go ahead and get this camera pulled back in, make a note where I see that cable, and then do my best to guesstimate how much farther we need to go. And if you guys are curious as to how I'm cleaning this, I'm just using a piece of microfiber and just wiping it off as it comes in, which we should be coming out of the hole any second now because we are within 8 feet, it says. All right, there's our friend at the end there. And since we are going to run it again, I'm just gonna leave it right in the hole. So guys, in reality, we're letting the machine do all the work. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run this machine, let it do all the work. We're probably about to that big root ball. I wonder if we're gonna be able to tell, because this is a pretty heavy duty machine. While this runs, I'm actually gonna have some water running from the faucet, so that way it can push down all of the extra roots that we're gonna end up knocking out of the way using this machine. All right, so now we are at a spot where it's binding. Check it out. Let's see if it'll get through it. And it seems that we did. That's great. That means we might very well be about to the main, because I'm not entirely sure how far the main is. We haven't been able to get there yet, and I can see that I'm running out of cable pretty fast. So if we just drop down into the main, we're just going to be making a mess down in there, which is fine. But since we're close enough, I'm going to go ahead and run all 100 foot out of this cable, and then I'll run the camera out and we'll see what we're looking at. All right, so if you look down into my drum, let me move you guys so you can get a good view. There's one line of cable left, which means we're about as far out as we can get. I'm going to run it just a little bit more since we're right there, and then we're going to start bringing it back in. So let's finish this out. Whew, I'm cramping. That's it. So all you have to do is take your lever, knock it into reverse, and now it's going to start coming back in. You're going to want a cloth nearby to clean it out, and honestly, the hard part's over with. Now we just wait for this to come back in. So when you're running this backwards, it's kind of hard to tell if you're actually coming in. But I am now proud to say that I am loose and coming in, because I'm watching pieces of dirt or what's in the sewer come up and through. Which, while I'm running this back, I'm going to go ahead and turn my faucet on so that at least it's running a little bit, so my cable is slightly clean. This is another case in point of you want to let the machine do the work and not you. And if you're ever curious, if you're actually coming up, you could always wrap this towel around and watch it go, but I'm catching something that I see and following it all the way back. But as you can see, this is a very long process. So I'm going to speed this up for you, because essentially all you care about is that it comes out of the hole, right? All right, so I have been running this thing backwards for a long period of time, and we're about to get to the really exciting part. I've got all the tree roots of this thing picked up, coming out right now. I'll wait till we get up into camera view before I attempt to take them off, but trying to keep it from splattering gunk all over the place. Check out that. All right, so now the fun part, we got to pick all these tree roots off. We're gonna make a pile, see how much we end up with, because if I'm just now starting to get some, who knows how much farther we've got to go. Oh look, more roots. So I'm going to try to keep this from splashing as much as possible, because that's less cleanup later on. But I want you guys to see this. There's a piece of toilet paper. And there's the end of our... Here, we'll run this back so that you can see it. And here's the end of our cable. Now let's undo this and see what we're dealing with here. This is not normal toilet paper. That looks like some kind of a bandage that got flushed. And this is why you want to wear gloves. because this is less than ideal. Now, even though I only have time to do this just once today, we can run down, run the camera through, and see if we got everything. All right. I'm going to run a little bit of extra water down here for a little bit. This is just water out of the toilet hookup. I'm just going to run it for a minute. But look, that's a hell of a root ball to come out of your sewer. You can only imagine how much better it's going to be flowing with that out of the way. All right, I think that's enough. Shut that off. Let's go run that camera down through and see how we're looking. All right, so we saw exactly how much roots we got out. Let's crank our camera on, run it out, and see how the sewer's looking now. Hopefully we can get far enough to be able to view the main, and hopefully we knocked enough roots out that some foaming root killer will take care of the rest. But there's only one way to find out, and that's what we're gonna do by running the camera out. All right, we've got our camera on. We're gonna turn the light on as high as it'll go. And now you guys are viewing what the camera can see. And we're gonna go ahead and push out. All right, so this is the clay tile. There's still some tree roots, but it looks much better than it did. And I apologize if I sound hoarse. I've had that awful cold that's been going around for a really long time. As you can see, we've got tree roots there, which it's partially natural that that's going to happen in a clay tile sewer. This is, you know, practically 100 years old at this point. Actually, it might be more than 100 years old. I am underwater right here. All right, so this is where we weren't able to get past before. Let's get a run at it. We got past it. Hey, look. Look here, here's another, some more tree roots. I don't think the sewer, per se, is in a bad shape. But man, these tree roots are killing us. I may try to run just a single blade out another time. So, that's as far as we're going to get again. We'll have to come back another day, give it a shot. Because I don't think I can force. Nope. It ain't moving at all. Can't force my way out past these tree roots, but that's okay. Well, as you can see, we actually did clean quite a bit of those roots out, and there's still more to be had. So what we're going to do is just keep running this sewer machine out. But I'm not going to continue to video that, as I don't think it's completely necessary. But man, if you take a look at this, it's at least you can tell we've cleaned out quite a bit of tree roots. So we're going to just bring this camera back in, and I got to get ready for my other job. All right, guys, I know that that wasn't a super technical, this is how you use this, which is a different style video than what I normally do. This was more of a vlog style, like, hey, let's try this out and let's see what these VEVOR tools can do. If you like this video, please comment down below so I can make more like this. Otherwise, I'll see you in another video. But hey, until then, I think it is very viable to start a drain cleaning business for $1,500, because man, you saw the tree roots that brought out. If I put the right blade on there, it's gonna come through and cut a whole bunch of stuff out. So we're gonna try that, and I'll keep you updated in the comments how it ends up. If I end up having to go get a professional root cleaner, or if just me, myself, running the machine ends up doing it. But thank you for watching. Until next time, guys, this has been Handy Jeff. We'll see you in another video.